Hello, I've had this CAMMUS direct drive wheelbase for the best part of a week, but I haven't managed to mount it as I realised when this was on its way to me, I needed their mounting bracket. The bracket is a separate accessory, so while this was on its way I did buy this separately and it's now finally arrived, which is awesome, and now I can get this on the Simrig and we can make some more videos on this wheelbase. So I wanted to show you this because CAMMUS have done a couple of clever things here, so it's worth knowing because it will be useful if you are considering buying a CAMMUS. I would say think about this to begin with anyway, unlike me when I made that mistake. But with the CAMMUS you have two mounting points effectively. You've got bottom mounting, which I'll show you in the moment, but it also has side mounting. I popped in a couple of T-nuts into this channel here. There's one on either side of course. And you do get this bag of T-nuts and bolts to go with it and some washers, so plenty to go around there, so that's great. And with that you can then take your bracket here and pop it on there. Let me just show you that close up. You can see that's the back point and then the pivot point, and then you have the angle adjustments there, which is staggered, so you've got plenty of incremental points there, which is great. And of course those are the slots for planting onto your Simrig. And you can just see you get plenty of elevation there, so that's really good on the angle. That's fantastic, but bear in mind if you do use these, which I think is a really neat option, you are setting the wheelbase quite low, so you do need to take that into account depending on your setup and your wheel deck height. If that's a problem, then what you want to do is employ this piece, and that's for bottom mounting. So of course that goes underneath and you use the same side pieces like so, and you just get the same angle adjustment. So yeah, just the same thing guys, isn't it? And it should just be as sturdy as well. That, you know, it's steel, so yeah, steel plate and laser cut and bent into shape and pretty thick there. I think 2-3 millimeters, I'm not sure guys, what do you reckon? I don't know, I haven't measured it, but anyway I'll show you the bottom so you can see the bottom mounting holes. And so that's that, so that's like a 9 centimeter square, and goes on like that, and simple as that, and basically the same width as the base there. So yeah, nice and tidy there. I would like to use these and do the side mounting method, but I'm not sure if that's going to be suitable for my Simrig, so I'll give it a go, see if it works out. If it doesn't, then I'll just end up using this, and I'm sure it's going to be absolutely fine. But okay, let me get on with that and I'll show you how it turned out. Okay, so I finally got it mounted. This is the next day, as it did take me a little bit more time to work this one out because this thing is so big and bulky. It did require a little bit more work to get it mounted to my Simrig, partly because I've got this tabletop here and that gets in the way here, because what I needed to do was cut away at the table a little bit so I could widen these posts. As you can see, they do basically butt against the side of this tabletop here, so to allow me to widen the brackets so I could mount this here, I did need to cut into the table, so that was needed. But yeah, it wasn't a massive job, but it's a bit of effort to do, of course. And I'm using the side brackets here, which I discovered is the best option for me, and the reason for that is you have 2 points of ways of pushing the base into position with the throw back and forward. As you can see, you mount it obviously to the profile here, which is as you would expect, but also because it slides along the channel, you can then move the base forward and back, which you can't do of course with the bottom mount bracket because it's in a fixed position, and the only position you have is using how you mount this here. And it would have been possible if I cut more out the table and obviously move things back, because basically there's nothing I can do other than start chopping away at the table to move these pieces either sideways or further back, and I didn't want to do that, but this works quite well for me. I'm kind of happy with that. But to make sure I could get this to clear the table, as it is basically like a millimetre, you know, it's there, it's basically against the table, it's probably about a millimetre gap there. So I've kind of got lucky here. I'm using obviously these two pieces of profile, and you can see the strap here. I'm using one of those straps underneath as basically a spacer on either side so I can clear the table. Otherwise, with the angle I have, it just wouldn't fit properly. So you need to get a bit of an angle. So yeah, it was all about kind of messing around with different kind of bits and pieces and seeing what would work. And this works fine, but you know, it looks simple enough, doesn't it? But when you kind of get down to nitty gritty and start kind of trying to mount these things and playing around with bits and pieces, it's less straightforward than it first seems. Incidentally, that's my Leo Bodner Sim Steering 2 motor, and you can see it is seriously dwarfed by the CAMMUS, but bear in mind that that is just a motor and the control box is there, so you do have a big old thing to place somewhere as well. So you need to deal with either, you know, small wheelbase, quite a big control box there, it is a big old thing, and or have it all in the sort of base here with the camera. So yeah, it's a trade-off, isn't it? But certainly it was a little bit of an effort to get this mounted, but we got there in the end, and that's the main thing. And I can now get some testing done, get some videos out there, so stay tuned, as I will have more on the cameras coming up very soon. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy, and happy simming, and bye bye.